Hello, this is THEGREAT FX speaking, and I hope you've all had a fantastic week. I've also had a fantastic week. So this week I'm starting a challenge, and it's called the $200 challenge. So I'll be talking more at the end of this video. So today, of course, we'll be doing our an update of the weekly focus that I posted for 19th to 23rd. Feel free to refer to that video so that you can see what I said and what I'm saying right now. Is it what I said, or rather were those the setups that we had? So kindly feel free to subscribe to this channel. I will really appreciate that effort. So of course, this is THEGREAT FX, and I want us to start with pound USD, sorry. And I will be, of course, referring to what I'd said last week, or rather before this week started, and what I'll be expecting going forward. So as you can see, I've not this is the setup we had before this market moved, and I predicted from this point, and as you can see, this short retracement happened to a critical zone, and then we bought, but I expected the buy to go to 1.3050. However, during the first rally upwards, we didn't really get to 1.30, but as you can see right now, we have gotten to that level of target. I hope someone enjoyed. These were around 200 pips, so I hope someone enjoyed those pips. So now, what will I be expecting going forward? So allow me to erase this what we had for last week, because that has already happened. I want us now to discuss, or rather the new setup that we will be having going forward. So we are going to maintain now, of course, this becomes now our critical zone, 1.300, and it is going to determine everything that we are going to be doing. So now, so we are going to have this as our critical zone, our 1.300. So then allow me to just indicate it so that we're on the same page. So that will be our critical zone. So now, once that is done, what will I be expecting for pound USD going forward? Of course, we must have retracements, and as I always say, make this retracement your best friend. I expect a possible retracement before the end of the day, and that retracement might happen to 1.3000. But since this one has become our critical zone, anything is possible at this zone. Anything is possible. That simply means you'll keep your eye once there is price action confirmation to confirm our short sells, to our 1.300, which is our new critical zone. You'll take your short sells. I advise people to scalp, because that is not in line with the direction of the market. So once that is achieved, we're going to keep our eye on this new critical zone, and we see what will price do at this zone. Will it offer price action rejection, or will it close strongly below? That simply means if there's price action rejection around this zone, that simply means look for your buys now, targeting 1.3300. So that will be your new setup in case there is price action confirmation around 1.3000. However, in case price decides to close strongly below this critical zone, so just know we are going to be selling now downwards still, heading now to the previous critical zone of 1.28555. 500. So just keep an eye on this new critical zone. It will give you an idea whether the market will head to 1.33 or it will head to 1.28500. So on to pound JPY. Pound JPY, this is what we had predicted. Of course, we expected a short retracement here. I had erased that, but you can refer to the previous video to see that. We had that setup. Of course, they are normally similar with pound USD. So we were expecting that short retracement, which happened to our critical zone. And then we were expecting the market to buy to 138.00. However, the market didn't buy to 138.00, but it bought to 137.000. So at 138, we were expecting a retracement. So what is going to be our new setup going forward? What is going to be our new setup? Allow me to get rid of this. And of course, there's still room for this market to go upwards just a little bit, just before maybe to 137.500, and then now we can get our retracement to 137.000. So now 137.000 becomes our new critical zone. It is going to basically determine the direction of this market, or rather it is going to determine whether our pound JPY is going to head back to 135.500, or we are going to go to 140.00, which has been our target all along. So what will you be looking for, or what will be your target for pound JPY? Look out for price action confirmation for you to take your short sales up to 137. Once price gets to 137, once it gets to 137, keep an eye on 137.00. Observe, is the market going to offer you price action rejection, or it is going to break through? If it offers you price action rejection, just know you're going to head to 140.00. But in case the market decides to close strongly below, just know that market is going to go back to 135.500. So at that point, you can continue looking for your sales targeting 135.500. Good. But in case there's price action rejection around 137, look out for your buys targeting 140. That will be our new setup in case there's price action rejection. But in case the market decides to close strongly below, we are going to head to 135. On to gold. So for gold, we had this setup, and I hope someone has seen it. I've been sending this setup all over the place. Of course, we were expecting this short retracement, and I say to 1890, 1880, but I was expecting 1880 more. But as you can see, the market just got to a trend line. And a disclaimer, as I always say, don't get married to these trend lines. Excuse me, they are just that, they're just trend lines. So anyway, you can see the market has been buying properly, and I'll still expect this market to continue buying. I still expect the market to continue buying. So this light gray rectangle is our minor zone. Of course, it is going to give us direction, and it is around 1915. So I'll be expecting a short retracement, of course, to this minor zone. For us to retest this minor zone, that simply means, and as you can see, the previous forecast worked on so well for those smart students who followed what I had sent out. So allow me to indicate what I'll be expecting this week, or rather going forward. I'll be expecting a short retracement to 1910, 1915, and then we can now have our strong buys targeting 1950. It is as simple as that. Keep an eye at this zone. So of course, this light gray rectangle that I have here still remains our critical zone. It is more or less going to determine the future of this market. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on this zone, because if the market retraces to 1910 and there is price action confirmation for us to take our buys, just know we are going to head to 1950. But in case the market decides to close strongly below here, we are going to head downwards. We are going to head downwards to 1900, that zone. We're going to head downwards, getting to 1900. So be very flexible, but the tip is to keep an eye on this zone that I have indicated, which is 1910, 1915. Look at what price is going to do. Look out for price action for either to confirm your buys or a close below this zone for you to continue taking your if there's a close below, continue taking your sells, but in case there's price action rejection around this zone, look out for buys targeting 1950. On to Euro USD, and of course, I mentioned that I don't really trade the Euro USD so much because I find it so slow. But I know so many of my followers trade this pair, and I didn't want not to give you guys an analysis. And as you can see, this was our analysis. We're expecting a short sell and then a strong buy to 1.1820, and then a retracement to 1.1780, and then a strong buy to 1.1900. And as you can see, we are almost achieving our level of 1.1900. And as I'm making this video, I don't know if Euro USD has gotten to that level, but anything now is possible. But I hope someone enjoyed this. These were around 200 clean pips. I hope someone enjoyed this Euro USD clean move. On to Euro Pound, and this was a setup that I sent. And if you're in the free channel, I know you saw this setup that I'd sent, because I'd said we'll be expecting this setup to happen. This setup, this is what we're expecting. So now from moving forward, I'll be keeping an eye on this, of course, very weak trend line, so to speak, to see if there's price action confirmation for me to take my buys. Because I was considering this as a retest of this, of course, this trend line. But in case we close strongly below this zone, just know for sure we are going to head back to this zone of 0.900. That is going to be our level of target. So keep an eye on this zone, or rather keep an eye on this market, what it's going to do. Check out either for price action confirmation for you to take your buys upwards. If there is price action confirmation for buys, take your buys targeting 0.9150, which is our minor zone target. However, if the market decides to close strongly below this zone, just know you're going to head back to 0.900, which I have indicated as our minor zone. Keep an eye on that. On to Nasdaq, and before I go to Nasdaq and Dow Jones, if, for example, allow me to go to Pound USD. It is very, very simple. I've talked about Pound USD, Pound JPY, I've talked about gold, I've talked about Euro USD and Euro Pound. So it's very simple in this sense. For Pound USD, I've talked about this zone, which I've said keep an eye on it. In case we close strongly below, we're going to head downwards to 1.2850. But in case there's price action confirmation for us to take our buys, we are going to take our buys. So scenario number one for Pound USD is what you have on your screen. If we close strongly below, will be scenario number two. That means if there's price action rejection, Pound USD will buy to 1.300. And it is simple in the sense that if Pound USD buys, and that simply means if there's price action confirmation around this zone for us to take our buys, just know for Pound JPY, the same thing will happen. There will also be price action confirmation around this zone for you to take your buys. Same thing to gold. There will also be price action confirmation at this zone for you to take your buys. Same thing to Euro USD. Euro USD will keep buying. However, now for Euro Pound, in case there's a price action confirmation, or rather Pound USD decides to buy, of course Euro Pound must sell. So there's going to be a downward move downwards. So just keep an eye on Pound USD. In case there's price action confirmation for you to take your buys, know that Pound USD will buy to that level. So Pound JPY will also buy. It will buy to 140.00. Gold will also buy to 1950. Euro USD will also buy to probably now 1.200. And then Euro Pound will now sell towards 0.900. That is how they correlate, and these things are going to pay out. However, the inverse is also true. If Pound USD decides to close strongly below this zone, so we'll be looking, that simply means Pound USD will be selling. Now, just know it will sell to 1.28500, and pound JPY will now also close strongly below this zone to sell towards 135.500. Then gold will also sell towards 1900, 1890 zone. And finally, Euro USD will also sell probably to 1.2. It will come back to this zone of 1.17800, but then Euro Pound will now buy towards 0.91500. So it is as simple as that. Allow me now to go to Nasdaq, and this was the setup that we had for Nasdaq. And as you can see, it played out so well. I was expecting you guys, and you can see the sell happened towards the critical zone, perfectly towards our critical zone, which coincided with our optimal trade entry point. And now the market is more or less ranging, but I'll be expecting, of course, we maintain this critical zone, but what are you going to keep an eye on? You are going to keep an eye on this zone to know the direction of Nasdaq. And as I've said, if pound USD decides to reject that zone, simply this zone, and offers us buys, or in short, in case there's price action confirmation for us to take buys at this zone, pound USD will also buy, pound JPY will buy, gold will buy to 1950, Euro USD will continue buying to probably 1.200, Euro pound will now sell towards 0.9000. And now, Nasdaq also, if pound USD decides to reject its critical zone at this point and continue buying, Nasdaq will also probably reject in this sense. It will also continue buying towards 12,400. Dow Jones will also continue buying. As you can see, this was the setup we had for Dow Jones. So in case there's price action rejection at the critical zone, now we are heading upwards. So these things are as simple as that. That's why I tell my students that trading is very simple. Some of you just complicate things, and that's why sometimes life is hard for some of you. Just to repeat myself for the last time, keep an eye on pound USD critical zones. It will give you an idea whether pound USD will buy or it will sell, and towards where. If this price action rejection at the critical zone, which is 1.300, just know we will be taking our buys towards 1.33. But in case we close strongly below, and in case we are buying, pound JPY will also buy towards 140.00. So that means it will also reject its critical zone. Gold will also reject its critical zone, meaning it will buy to 1950. Euro USD will also reject, meaning it will buy to 1.2000. And the inverse, of course, Euro Pound will now sell towards 0.900. Keep an eye on these critical zones. They will give you a hint on the market direction. And finally, of course, if pound USD rejects its critical zone, Nasdaq is also likely to also reject its critical zone and buy towards 12,400. And finally, Dow Jones is also likely to reject its critical zone and head towards 29,100. That is going to be my expectation for this coming week. I hope you have enjoyed this session. I hope someone is going to take advantage of these setups because they are going to pay. Let's meet on Saturday, but as I promised, I'm running. We have a challenge. I'm calling it the $200 challenge. And this challenge is motivated by the fact that, and I always say, when I talk to my students and tell them, some of you are really good traders. The only problem is your expectations are too high. And I want to be very honest, and I hope I don't break someone's heart today, and tell you, you are your own enemy, or rather, the problem is you. The problem is not the market. The problem is not the knowledge that you have. You are your own enemy. So I want to debunk this, and I'm calling it the $200 challenge. And the challenge will be running from November the 1st, and will be going on. That is November the 1st, 2020 to November the 1st, 2021. It is going to be a 1-year challenge, 12 months, and our target is very simple. We have the $200 challenge, and of course I know there are people who can afford $500. This challenge is for people who don't necessarily have big capital muscles. I want to show you that you can break the membrane and start trading a 4-figure, 5-figure account. It is possible, my people. The only thing you need to do, and as I always say, just lower your expectations. So this is what you're going to do. We'll be having two challenges because we have the $200 challenge and the $500 challenge. So the $200 challenge, our goal is simple. In 12 months, we want to do 25% return on investment every month. Actually, that is fair enough, and I know it is achievable. As the captain, I know it is very much achievable. So we'll be doing a $200 challenge, and we're going to be compounding. And the aim of the $200 challenge is to get to $5,000. $5,000 by the end of 12 months. You can do your own calculations and see it is very possible. If you can do 25% consistently every month, that simply means you're doing 6.2% every week return. We can easily get to $5,000 in 12 months, not within a week, because as I started, I said some of you are your own enemy. And why did I say that? Some of you expect to make millions with a $200 account. It is ludicrous, my people. So those are going to be the rules of the challenge. Of course, it's starting on November 1st. You have like 10 days to look for $200 in case you don't have it. Of course, you deposit it with your preferred broker. And it's going to run for 12 months. So this is not a challenge for people who are looking to make millions within 1 week. If you're looking for that challenge, the captain is not going to be part of those challenges. I want a realistic challenge, and I want to show the world that it is possible for people to actually break the membrane and join the professional traders. It is very possible. And the second challenge, of course, they're going to run simultaneously. We're going to be having the $500 challenge, and the $500 we are going to be targeting, of course, 25% only return on investment per month. Not 1,000% as some of you expect to make. No, only 25% return on investment per month. And the challenge, of course, is going to run from November 1st, 2020 to November 1st, 2021. And our challenge is to grow $500 to $15,000. And why am I running this challenge? It is very simple. The goal of this challenge is to show as many as possible that you can join, because just think about this. And this is very, very simple. And whichever country you're listening from, professional traders don't necessarily make more than 30% per month. They don't. That's the truth. But with $200, if you make 20%, to some people it looks too little. And I agree it is, because that is simply, if you do 20%, that is simply $40 every a month. From whichever country you are from, I'm sure $40 is little money. It can sustain anyone. So that leads to over trading. And you find someone with $200, they want to make 100% return, so they end up actually losing the money instead of making the money. But think about it this way, because I agree not everyone has the financial capacity to just take maybe $10,000 and deposit in a trading account. But trust you me, with proper discipline, you can start trading that $15,000 account, and that will be our goal for those people who can afford $500 to deposit in their trading account. Because if you can have a $15,000 account and actually doing only 20% per month, that will be $3,000. And I'm sure from wherever you are from, $3,000 is money that can sustain anyone. So that is going to be our goal. And welcome on board. Check the description box. There's the free channel, the free Telegram channel. And click that link, subscribe to this channel. I will really appreciate that effort. But make sure if you're interested in the challenge, make sure you check the description box for the free Telegram channel, so that I'll be sending the updates there. And of course, before I close this video, we'll be documenting everything that we have done for record keeping. I want us to show the world that it is possible. So all the best, guys. God bless you. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Let's meet on Saturday. All the best. Goodbye. This was the Great Effect speaking.